Not really well.
Jared, do you know what this is? It's a sign. Plans, some sort.
It's a sign. Not this meeting. Anybody in communication with our room in the back? Are we ready to go?
Ready to go ask?
Can someone give me a sign if we're ready to go? No, don't step in there. Hearing me. We're ready to go. Very good. Let's start. Good evening. Tonight is the reorganization of the Council Rock School Board. Today is December 4th, 2018. We'll begin the meeting as we customarily do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Ms. Rice, will you please call the board roll?
Andy Block.
Here.
Mark Fowler.
Here.
Ed Tate.
Here.
Michael Thornwood.
Here.
Jerry Ruff.
Present.
Denise Brooks.
Here.
Marion McKee.
Here.
Joseph Rodolfo.
Here.
Kristen Marcel.
Here.
Dr. Frazier, a superintendent's report, if you please.
Certainly, Mr. Grupp. Good evening to you, good evening members of the board, and good evening to our community watching at home. Just a couple quick announcements from me this evening. The first pertaining to what is a very busy upcoming school board schedule. So this coming Thursday, 2 days from now, December 6th, we will be holding a facilities committee meeting that will begin at 6:30. That's a change from the original time. It starts at 6:30. And also part of that agenda, it'll be the last item on the agenda, is a redistricting discussion. We anticipate that beginning at approximately 7 o'clock. So for those planning on attending, you can, if you want to, time your arrival accordingly. And then next Thursday, December 13th, we will have a finance committee meeting at 7 o'clock. We anticipate that meeting lasting 30 minutes. And then at 7:30, having a special meeting that will be focused on redistricting. And in particular, that's the big night because that is when the school board vote on redistricting will occur. Again, that's next Thursday. December 13th is when the vote will occur. This Thursday, there will be a discussion of redistricting, but certainly no vote this Thursday. Then we have our regular monthly board meeting on Thursday, December 20th, the last Thursday before we are off for winter break, and somewhere in between on Monday, December 17th, I think we'll find time to fit in a policy committee meeting. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks coming up, and an important couple weeks coming up for us as a school district. And second, and importantly for me, is that I have here what we consider to be our perpetual plaque. It recognizes our board leadership, and I want to certainly express my appreciation to you, Mr. Grupp, as board president this past year, Mr. Block, our current vice president, and certainly Ms. Kamikesi, who served in the role of vice president for several months this year after a long and distinguished career as a school board member. So the top of this plaque says recognition of outstanding service and dedication to the children of the Council Rock School District, and that certainly is the case for this board leadership. So again, on behalf of the entire school district, thank you to you.
Thank you, Christian. Next will be our solicitor's report.
I don't have anything to report, Mr. Grupp, tonight.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Cox. We do not have any members of the public present tonight, so while we would offer the opportunity, there is no one here to take it up. I do want to take a moment to reflect on something which was in the paper this past week, and it was the passing of someone who had been before this board a number of times a few years ago. Fred Caldwell was a local veteran who passed away this week at, I believe he was 93 years old. I have no other connection with Mr. Caldwell other than he was a fellow who came here with an ardent passion about the veteran cemetery a number of years ago. And he came before the board and he presented his case, and he was here before us many, many times. And I call attention to him, one, because he was a nice fella, a veteran of long-serving and actively involved in his community. But I also wanted to call attention to the fact of the way he ran his advocacy for his objectives. He was really quite a person when you met him in these meetings, always with a smile, always with a joke, but still pressing on his issue. And not as a personal aspect, never took it personally, but continued to advocate, but in a nice, collegial, professional, comforting way. It wasn't adversarial. It's something which, you know, in this past week with the passing of Mr. Caldwell, with the passing of President Bush, George H.W. Bush, to look back on that and think that it's a great legacy to leave, which is to convince people with a smile and with good intentions, but without animosity, I should say. So I want to take a moment on a personal basis. I'm sure the rest of the board would agree that we extend our condolences both to Mr. Caldwell locally, to his family locally, and I'm sure we join with many members of our community as we mourn the loss of our 41st president, George H.W. Bush. With that, that will serve as public comment, if you will, tonight. We're going to move on to the nominations for the president pro tem of the during our reelection, during our reorganization meeting. So I'll open the board. I'll open for nominations.
Jerry, why don't I'll nominate you. You're sitting there. Let's continue.
Terrific. Second?
Second.
Very good. Thank you. I'll close the nominations. Nobody objects. Unless I hear a dissent, I'll ask for the secretary to record the election as going unanimously. Good. Thank you. Ms. Rice, please record that. At this point, we're going to open for the election. I'll be opening for the nominations for president of the school board for the term beginning now, running through this time next year, 2019. Open for nominations.
Mr. Rupp, please. I'd like to nominate with sincere enthusiasm and my strong endorsement, Mr. Andy Block for president.
Second.
Very good. We have a nomination and a second from Mr. Block. Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, I will ask for the nominations to be closed. Very good. At this point, we voted now? Let's vote it now.
Yes.
Cool. Do I have to vote it?
Whichever you prefer,
Very
Mr.
good.
Rupp. It's your preference.
As we see it tonight, I will ask for the secretary to record it as passing with unanimous consent unless I hear anyone object. Hearing no objection, congratulations, Mr. Block. You are now the president of the board. You want to take it at this point? You want me to finish with the vice president?
No, go ahead.
Very good. At this point, we will open the nominations for elections for vice president of the board for the next term.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Mark Byler, please.
Mr. Block has nominated Mr. Byland.
I'll second.
Mr. Hidalgo seconds. Thank you very much. Are there any other nominations for vice president? Hearing none, we'll close that. Again, as we did before, if with only one candidate and with the unanimous consent of the board, I will ask the secretary to record this as passing with unanimous consent. Hearing no objection. Congratulations, Mr. Byland. I'm going to take this one. Ready? I'll get another one in a few weeks.
I kept receiving one for you. Thank you, Mr. Grupp. On behalf of the entire group, I want to thank you for a great year of service and for your leadership. Also, on behalf of Mark and myself, I want to thank all of our peers for your confidence in us, and we hope to do you justice. We're humbled by that, so thank you. That being said, I need a motion for the approval of our charters for our 4 committees: Finance, Facilities, Academic, Standards, and Policy. May I have that motion, please?
I'll move to the approval of the charters as printed in our packet this evening.
Second.
Thank
Second.
you. Dr. Thorward. Hearing no objections, then I'll see, are there any objections? Hearing none, I'll ask the secretary to pass the motion with unanimous consent, please.
With that, I'll move forward to the appointments for the coming year. To chair the Finance Committee, Mark Bialik. To chair the Facilities Committee, Mike Thorwart. To chair the Academic Standards Committee, Mary Ann McKee. To chair the Policy Committee, Ed Tate. To continue to serve as our, and these are in a bunch of different places, but our Bucks County Intermediate Union 22 representative and PSBA representative, Denise Brooks. To serve as our 2 MBIT representatives, Ms. Marcel and Mary Ann McKee. And then a slight change here. We have to have a board liaison to the CREF board. I want to take an opportunity to thank Mr. Bialik for having done that for the last 2 years, I think.
No, it's been
3 or 4.
I think it's 3 or 4. It might be 4.
So Mark's done that for a long time. Obviously, Denise is on their board, but we do have to appoint one. So Kristen Marcel, who's got deep ties to that organization, is going to be our Council Rock School Board representative to Council Rock Education Foundation. So those are the appointments for the coming year. We've got a lot to do. Good luck to everybody. And with that, I'll move to our second round of public comment. Seeing none, is there any board comment, new or old business?
Can I make a quick comment?
Please
I
do.
know we want to get out of here quickly. But thanks, everybody. And Andy and I have talked a lot about this coming year, and I have to tell you, I'm excited. We've got a lot on our plate. We have a great board, a lot of new blood. There'll be some additional new blood coming in, and that's always very, very positive. And everyone here spends time researching the issues, talking to each other, and I'm just very, very, very excited. I'm excited to continue working with our superintendent and our really great administration. So it's really going to be a great year, I think. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. Meeting adjourned.
I will arrive Thursday night right about 7 because of another work commitment, but I'll be here.